We are now talking to ESPN Cleveland radio show host Matt Fontana. What's going on, Matthew?
What's up, guys? How are you?
I'm good, man. I mean, we're all good. I mean, Tyler with his backwoods Rangers hat, Speedy with his greasy hair, and then, of course, me with my Yankees hat. Nothing really to brag about with the Yankees so far, but how are you doing right now with your show over there at ESPN Cleveland, and how do you feel with moving on to a New York sports conversation show?
I mean, it's all good, guys. You know, I'm excited for it, and yeah, things are good. We're kind of in a weird spot right now with where the Browns are at. What's going on with that? The Indians, Block C, the name change kind of went over well. The Cavs are like the best team in town right now. Nobody really saw that coming anywhere. I know tonight against the Celtics not going really their way, but if you would have told me at the beginning of this year that the Browns would be like pretty much out of the playoff hunt, the Indians wouldn't, or I'm sorry, the Guardians would not have made the playoffs, and the Cavs would be the one hope that we would have to make the playoffs. I wouldn't have believed you.
Well, I hate the name, by the way, the Guardians, and what professional sports are doing to the game and changing these names is just ridiculous. It never mattered for over 50, 60 years. Now all of a sudden everybody wants to change the name because it's racist or it's hurting people's feelings. So
don't worry, he still likes it more than the Seattle Kraken.
No, well, that's for sure. I hate that name, by the way. But the jerseys are starting to grow on me.
I like the jerseys.
I think the jerseys are really, really nice. But Matt, why don't we get into some Cleveland sports? And you were talking about the Cleveland Browns and football. Obviously, is a very popular thing here in New York, even though our teams stink. But Cleveland,
we've been there.
That's right.
We might be going back there. I don't know. We might have been just the 1 year to make the playoffs, and we'll be right back. I'm not really sure yet. We'll see.
I'm sure.
Have faith.
Cleveland right now, going into the season, a lot of people were very excited about this team, how talented they were with the running back core that they have with Hunt and obviously Chubb, and then obviously the wide receivers with Odell Beckham, who's now playing for the Rams, and Landry can stay healthy, and then even the tight ends that they had, the weapons that they had, and even the acquisition from the offensive linemen that they've brought in over the last 2 years, you would think that they were going to be a top team with Myles Garrett running their defense. But it's completely fallen apart this year. And one of the big names that a lot of people are blaming over there in Cleveland is Baker Mayfield. Now, Baker has been playing with a hurt shoulder. I don't blame Baker for everything, especially being that the pressure, and it's been really sinking on his mind that the team doesn't want him there anymore. The fans don't want him there. I don't believe that. So what are your thoughts with Baker Mayfield? Obviously, not having the year that everybody thought he was going to have, and I think he's been very, very tough playing it out with his shoulder problem.
Yeah, and even beyond the shoulder, so obviously he was injured week 2, and then it got hurt again when J.J. Watt, sandwiched him. I think that was week 7. But then he's had knee injury. He has a heel injury. I mean, it just seems to be mounting up. He's already missed, he's missed last week, being on the COVID list. He missed the Denver game on the short week after that Cardinals game when he got injured again. And I think the biggest thing is, guys, as I tell people, the issue is it's still a question. Like the question of, do the Browns have a franchise quarterback? The fact that we can unequivocally say we can't say yes for sure. In Buffalo, you say that with Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson for sure in Baltimore. It's Justin Herbert with the Chargers. And are those guys, even Lamar, right? He's not had a year up to his pace. He's, had injuries, but there is no question. I think that's the frustrating part is it's still a question that you can't answer either side. And, the Cleveland fan base, people are pretty polarized on it. A lot of people think he is the guy. Other people think he's not the guy for one reason or another. So it's so tough when you look at it because you want to say, oh, the numbers aren't there. The production's not there. He needs so many things to go right for him to be successful. But it is the injury factor. You're not really sure what it is. And this is kind of his career, right? Rookie year, lit things up. Year 2 with Freddie Kitchens was not good. Last year with Kevin Stefanski was very good. And this year it's trending towards a subpar year. And so you can't even get the gauge on his career. And you don't have a quarterback, you're not going anywhere. You're just talking about the New York teams, you pretty much know it. You don't have a quarterback, you're not going anywhere. And the Browns thought they really, even the fan base, really thought we found the guy. I still have faith. I still have belief. Do I need him to be a top 5 quarterback? No. I need him to be a top 10 quarterback, though. I can't have him middle to, second half of the pack there, which is kind of where he's at right now. Just when you look at the stats, you talked about all the players they brought in, the offense that's built. If it needs to be like this perfect offense, this would be it. Talked about a great offensive line and a good run game. I don't need Patrick Mahomes in this offense. I need a guy like Baker Mayfield. Win healthy, but again, we haven't really seen that, and that's where this stretch here. He said to us last week, or not last week, but the week prior to that when he played, he said that that's the healthiest he's been since week 2. So there's a chance coming off the COVID list here that we can see some good play down the stretch.
It's amazing with how many bad quarterbacks you guys have had. All the Browns fans are turning on Baker this quickly. So my question is, with him having the contract year now coming up for him, being that this is his 4th year in the league, he's got the 5th-year option still. But between the injury that he had and delaying the surgery until in the offseason and then playing through it for a while, now obviously he's not been. But what would you do if you were in the Browns front office, if you were Andrew Berry? Would you pay him the money that he wants? What you think is reasonable for that kind of quarterback contracts, because quarterback contracts are rising? And are you surprised that Baker Mayfield played through this the pain as much as he has so far?
I'm not. That's one thing that he likes, or not likes. He doesn't like to be hurt, but he's he fights through it. He's a grinder. He's a chip on the shoulder kind of guy, and he knows he's got a lot of money to be made out there. And going out there, I don't think it's hurt or helped the situation. If I'm Andrew Berry, the Browns GM, and probably Baker would probably want this too, this year's a wash. There's really nothing we could tell for it. Let's get to the offseason. We don't want to insult you by giving you a low-ball offer. Let's play it out on the 5th-year option. You start playing extremely well, maybe we'll have contract discussions midway through the year. If you don't, not a problem. We'll franchise tag you if we can't figure something out. But I truly, really do believe that once the conversation starts, that I think Baker wants to be here, and the Browns just want him to prove to them that he's going to be worth that 40. I know 40 is like a lofty number right now, but when that salary cap jumps the next couple of years, it's going to keep resetting that market. So I think if I'm even if I'm Baker, your value is not very good right now. So let's just get this year out of the way. Let's get to the offseason. Let's get fully healthy. Let's get into next year, and we'll see where it takes us from there, knowing that you have franchise tag options. And again, I really do think you have a quarterback that, would listen to it. There are some reports that they, maybe had discussions about things this offseason. It didn't really kind of, formulate with anything. But if I'm them, I say let's just watch this season and we'll talk about it after next year.
Mr. Fontana, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good.
So a couple
Fantastic.
names I'm just going to throw you to be. This is a very dull conversation so far. Joe Batinho, Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett, Wyatt Teller, and Denzel Ward, all going to the Pro Bowl. So Mazel Tov,
yeah.
Shalom. So, what did I say? All-Star? Anyway,
Pro Bowl, All-Star,
Pro
same
Bowl,
thing.
same crap.
Yeah, same
Thank you.
thing.
So, another guy in Cleveland that he's kind of been rumored to be in, be out. I don't know why you guys want to get rid of Baker. I think that's crazy talk. But another guy in Cleveland that seems to always
He's in love with Baker, by the way.
I thought Baker's a stud, and he's a good guy. Yeah. Tough as nails, too.
He's a good guy. He's a fantastic guy, and I think that's why a lot of fans like him, because he's very much like Cleveland. He's out in the community.
Exactly.
People like him. He's got a swag to him, too, and that's something you guys talked about, that
right.
list of quarterbacks. We didn't have many that had much swag.
Not at all. Not at all, because they wanted to run out of there as fast as you could say Cleveland. But anyway, another guy in Cleveland that's always rumored to be on the way out or being talked about is Kevin Love, who obviously right now has had a huge resurgence this season.
How do you go from football to basketball like that?
It's all in Cleveland.
Do you ever see some of Kevin Love's passes, though, on the basketball court? They're very football-esque.
He should. He should be a tight end.
He could be the quarterback for the Browns.
Yeah.
I doubt that.
Certainly LeBron James couldn't do it, but hey, that's neither here nor there.
Do not get into this
I'm
conversation.
not.
Do not.
So obviously the Cavs right now are playing insanely well, but also there will be, I believe, a lot of calls from teams that will be a higher seed than the Cavs looking to add a Kevin Love. Where do you think Kevin Love ends this season? Is he going to end it in Cleveland, or do you think he'll be traded before the deadline ends?
Kevin Love went from being untradeable because of his contract and how bad, he was injured, not playing, to I think he's untradeable because he's actually a key piece to this team again.
Huge piece.
And I would have never thought in a million years that I would say that Kevin Love is a contributing player on a good Cavaliers team. I never thought that would happen again, yet here we are. Is he worth $30 million a year coming off the bench? No, but at least he's kind of getting closer to that. There was a time he wasn't worth $5 million coming off the bench, but now, he's getting closer. And I think with such a young team, with such a young, core of players, he brings that veteran stability. I do see that I see a re-energized Kevin Love. I think being around these young guys has kind of got him going, and really the injuries too. That was the thing. Injuries pretty much derailed his year last year. The Team USA debacle was not a good one to see when he showed up, and he basically got accused of lying to them that he was in shape when he really wasn't. But I think he's back in a good place. I think he's accepted his role too. A lot of maybe veteran guys would say, get me the hell out of here. I could go join another team. I've got other friends that would sign me, buy me out and get out of here. But he's actually embraced the bench role that he has. And he's flourishing. I think for the best that you can get out of Kevin Love, he's playing meaningful minutes off the bench, and he's really given a good veteran leadership position there for JB Bickerstaff. So I think he stays in Cleveland. I really don't see them moving. I do see the Cavs making a move to get a wing. I know Cam Reddish has been talked about before. Buddy Hield has been brought up on our show before as a potential option. They have enough assets with draft picks, and they have a couple other players with contracts that they can move. I see them being in the asset acquisition mode for this team come trade deadline. So, and I really do see Kevin Love finishing out here.